Y'all can hear me? Shalom. I'm gonna start this thing over again. Shalom. Shalom. All right.
But this is only just the beginning, because when you look at what else Canada is doing, you're going to start to see a lot of things that could possibly go to America, could possibly go to Australia, which, if we look at the last couple of years, pretty crazy things happen there. You're going to start to see some really, really big trends come to the global economy. In this video, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you exactly what is happening in Canada and exactly what possibly could be coming here in some capacity. Please hit the like button, hit the like button. People share this content and educate people about what's really going on in the world economy. And today's video is sponsored by Genesis Gold Group. If you're looking at the world, seeing a very, very unstable place, and you're looking at the stock market, looking at the real estate market, wondering how long this is going to stand, many people are looking at gold. They're looking at precious metals. They're looking at land. They're looking at ways in which they can hedge their bets against insanity. So if you're looking to learn more about gold, possibly investing in gold or silver, precious metals, check out the link in the description just for this video. Call 1-800-200-GOLD. Or if you have a 401k or IRA and you're looking to convert it to a retirement account backed by precious metals, you can click the link in the description below or give a call on the phone number listed in the description. We can take a look at this. So police reported crime is on the rise again, with violent crime at the highest rate since 2007, right? 2007. Then this came out yesterday. Canadian law endorsed by Trudeau, government could imprison people. This is New York Post for advocating for this. Now, I'm not saying anyone advocate for anything like that. What I am saying is when they start there, over time it could easily, start getting, reduced to something else, something very, very small. And saying something that they deem as hateful online, whatever it could be, right? And we start living in a pretty crazy world, like overnight. Look at this. A Canadian law that aims to make social media platforms safer is getting flack from what some decry as government overreach. Introduced late last month, the Online Harms Act, where Bill C-63 would allow judges to imprison adults for life if they advocate for this. The law will also allow a provincial judge to impose house arrest.
Now look at that, right? I'm just now seeing this. So Bill C-63, which is funny because C is the third letter of the alphabet, so 363. All right, however you want to look at it. But it says it would imprison adults for life if they advocate for genocide. Now, it depends on how you want to look at that, right? Because if you have Jake on the street, talking about what the Bible says, because you got to remember the Most High genocided the human race other than Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives. The first death by water. So if we saying genocide is coming to America, and then after 1,000 years it's coming to the Edomites, what you think gonna happen? See, we coming into persecution upon those that fear the Lord, that hateth him, that rebuketh in the gate. Like, we have to prepare ourselves for this devil coming down with great wrath. Revelation 12:12.
And I find if they were reasonable grounds to believe a defendant will commit an offense. Think about that. A taxpayer would fund the imprisonment of someone that has not done a crime, but they believe could do a crime. Right? How crazy of a world are we walking into? Now, they say that.
So notice, you don't even have to do the crime, but they think that you can do the crime. But in the era of artificial intelligence, deep fakes, things of that nature, remember the scriptures talk about the accuser of the brethren. Let's go get that real quick. Accuser, brethren. This is Revelation 12:10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength. So look, we're going to get saved through the chariots, Lord willing. All right. Beamed up into the fathership of Yahweh Shai and strength. We're going to be going into the new covenant where we have strength over through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. We will get new bodies, be like supermen and superwomen, right? It says, and the kingdom of our power. All right. So this is the kingdom of Yahweh, right? And the power of his anointed. So that's why, it's the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, because all power, all authority was given unto Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. All right. For Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see? So the Edomites is going to be ruling in the last days, and they're going to accuse the brethren, the prophets, for doing something that they haven't done. Because that's the only way that they can really get them out the way. Because we're moving in the spirit. So we're not moving like them on some in wickedness, at least, those that follow the true doctrine. It says, which accuse them before our power day and night. And that's what's going to happen. So a great accusation is going to happen upon the prophets pursuant to shit like this, the Online Harms Act. All right.
But this is, this journalist, said this is very similar to the movie Minority Report. Basically, you're going to jail for thinking of the crime. Margaret Atwood, author of Handmaid's Tale, has criticized the bill, as R. William. If this account of the bill is true, it's letters de cachet all over again. The possibilities for revenge, false accusations, thought crime stuff are so inviting. Trudeau's Orwellian online harms bill, Atwood wrote on Twitter. Writing in public, conservative author Stephen Moore called it the most shocking of all totalitarian, liberal, and anti-enlightenment pieces of legislation that have been introduced in the Western world in decades. Citing government spokesperson, the bill would increase the maximum penalty specifically for advocating this from 5 years to life in prison, and from 2 years to 5 years. I mean, what happens if somebody hacks somebody else's social media account, right? They hack their social media account, they post certain things. How does that work, right? You start to see this whole thing start to unravel.
Right. So, like we've been saying, they're going. Remember that he's the devil. He's a deceiver. He's the false accuser because he has nothing to accuse us righteously with. We're not out there killing nobody. We're just telling you the truth. But see, life and death is of the tongue. So we are, the Most High is using the prophets, like in 2nd Thessalonians, consuming through the spirit of his mouth, consuming who? The wicked, the man of sin. All right. So it's withering him away by the words we speak because they know it's true. You see? So they're writing up unrighteous decrees, Isaiah 10 and 1 and verse 2, that they have already prescribed to get it ready to come down a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. 2nd Ezra 16. Okay.
How quickly we are moving. Like, we're moving into a pretty scary world.
So notice he said how quickly. This is why we tell it. This ain't no 5 years, 10 years down the line, no 3 years down the line. You see what I'm saying? Through the spirit, I speak as a man. I'm nothing, but equating to what our apostles say, our elders say, we really think shit gonna hit the fan this year. If not this year, it's gotta be next year, like on some early next year. You see what I'm saying? But I really think this year, bro. Based on how things is going, measuring the time down diligently, we only in the 3rd month, bro. You see what I'm saying? And look at all these laws that's being passed, bro. Look at everything that's coming up. The fear of the people. I can't wait to see that movie Civil War. And it happens after fucking this eclipse, man.
Now, when you see this, and then you start connecting the dots to the affordability crisis, because they connect perfectly. So, as cost of living soars, millions of Canadians are turning to food banks.
So look, the lack of bread, like I read in the last video before, Satan was fucking with me. It's approaching through gradualism. So people are turning to food banks, and what happens when the what does it say in the scriptures? The sown places become unsown when no more food in the food banks. What you think niggas gonna do if they already robbing in the green tree? What they gonna do in the dry?
Food Bank Canada shows highest numbers since it began collecting data in 1989, right? So 35 years. They go on to say that every Friday, people line up around the block to pick up dinner from a tiny church off College Street in downtown Toronto. Volunteers working for the food program inside, serving a hot casserole, some rice, maybe fruit, yogurt, and supplies come through. Rev. Canon Maggie, who helped run the program out of St. Stephen in the Fields Church, said it regularly serves 130 people for dinner on Friday compared to the 24 they saw a few years ago. Think about that, 500% increase, 600% increase. On Saturday and Sunday mornings, the lineup for breakfast is even longer, with hundreds of parents, seniors, students, working adults, and those who are unemployed. Every week we are scrambling. Every week we run out of food and we start foraging in the cupboards, in the freezer, for something that we can give to the people.
This is why I said the vintage gonna fail, man.
Terrifying. Then you look at what's happening right now. They're working on a universal basic income.
You see, so it's all orchestrated, you know, because he brings out a lot with the universal basic income. But we've been told you with Richard Werner, the prophets of Great Millstone and affiliate camps, he said that's the bait to the grain of rice, the digital oil. You see? Oh, I can't eat. I want that free money every month. The government is like, okay, yeah, we'll give it to you. You start getting it, and then eventually they're gonna say, in order to continue, so you live in your lifestyle based on money you're not working for. In a couple of months, next thing you know, all right, in order for this money to continue, if you continue to pay your bills off of the money we giving you through universal basic income, you gotta take this chip. Damn, for real? They're gonna be like, fuck it.
So you think about this. They work on a universal basic income to solve the problem of food insecurity, which is now plaguing Canada, and many would argue in America, and the cost of food is absolutely crazy, right? So, and we already have 200 plus universal basic income pilot programs here in America. So you start to see a situation where people are going to demand assistance. They're going to demand a solution. And when that person or entity is offering the solution to that problem, then the person taking that new solution is.
This is how you know this is Egypt all over again, bro. That's the same demand that people did in Exodus to Joseph, second in command of Pharaoh, man. You know what I mean? They didn't prepare, but the Mossad set up Joseph to look out for his people. You know? This thing is crazy.
It's basically, product of the state, right? And so this is what's unfolding in Toronto. Advocates say a universal basic income program, and when you start to think about this, then you look at this bill, you can see how quickly this is getting out of control. Toronto advocates say a universal basic income program could make a difference in helping people struggle in precarious and low-income jobs. But some wonder if they will effectively tackle the problem of poverty and if Canada could even afford the program. The concept is controversial, though the program has recently gained.
Yeah, the way they're going to afford the program is through the Great Reset, because they can't afford it in this system. So they're going to shut this system down, bring about the digital system through digital currencies, and then it's a whole new ball game.
In a few provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador announced in November 2023 a 3-year program for residents 60 to 64, which will provide the equivalent of federal senior benefits, the Canadian press reported. The social determinants of health having far greater impacts on the well-being of healthcare systems itself. The Newfoundland Premier, Andrew Furry, an orthopedic surgeon. I'm proud to say that the government, we are placing a heightened focus on social deterrence of health, both in spending and our policy directives. Now, this is just one of the universal basic income programs that they're working on right now in Canada. So you start to look at this, and you're looking at where property owners are, where people that own cars, where all the Canadians are truly standing, and they are standing at a very, very same, point as Americans. For example, Calgary Lawyer says number of foreclosures the worst since 2009. Like their job market, their economy is starting to fall apart, and many would argue ours is as well. Foreclosures are really starting to pick up. I mean, you're starting to see, insurance problems, and mortgage problems in Canada. Same as what's happening here in America.
And I'm hearing some niggas' insurances is doubling. You feel me? This thing is next level.
1/3 of mortgages in Canada in 2022 were variable rate mortgages. So they went from being very, very low interest rate to very high interest rate basically overnight. And at the same time, home insurance is up 7% in Canada. In many American markets, it's up 20%, 30% over the last year, right? So everything is getting much, much, much more expensive for Canadians. At the same time, you're getting hit with increased property taxes. So the rug is getting pulled under millions of Canadians. It's getting pulled. And when they start losing their homes, they're going to demand that assistance. They're going to demand a universal income or some type of financial help. That's what I think is going to be coming to Canada over the next couple of years. I don't see how it's not. More Canadians struggle with car loans as debt load becomes too much. Now, when I look at this situation with violent crime, and I look at what the police chief is saying and what's happening, for example, what happened with truckers in Canada, a couple of years ago, you can see how fast this train is moving. And so what I'm betting on is we're going to start to see a lot of people in America, a lot of people around the world start to get very, very, very skeptical about their own countries in the future. I bet we're going to start seeing a lot of people relocating out of places like Canada, going to a lot of places in South America, going to different countries. I mean, I read a story just the other day of a Canadian family moving into Russia, right? Because they wanted to get away from what's happening in Canada.
The scriptures say the people shall return to their own lands, man. And again, you cannot run from the judgment of the Most High, man. You see what I'm saying? So here, as prophets, we bear the indignation of the Lord, which part of it is being subject unto payments. Why? Because we have sinned against him. You see? So we continue to work, but yet we continue to cry in the spirit, sigh and cry. All right? Through faith, by giving diligence to make our calling and election sure, by rehearsing these righteous acts and worshiping the Most High in spirit and in truth, man.
I think we're going to see a lot of migration unfolding. A lot of people investing differently because of all of this. I think we're going to see a lot of people investing in precious metals. I think we're going to see a lot of people investing in farmland. I think we're going to see a lot of people investing in different businesses and doing different things just to hedge their bets against what's happening in the world. What do you think about this entire situation?
So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I wish it was all in one video, but part two because had a little call. So Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. On to the next one. Shalom.